New corporate managers are usually handed the same playbook: be accommodating, ask for open feedback, and motivate the team with financial bonuses. Liu Bei starts his tenure as CEO attempting to run this exact sequence. He's stepping into an organization filled with anxious employees, and he believes generosity is the fastest way to stabilize the workforce. His agenda for the first day includes immediate base salary raises, authorizes repairs for all broken office equipment, and the distribution of an open feedback survey to capture every employee grievance. However, his lead advisor intervenes before a single memo is sent. The advisor warns that these nice gestures will actually erode Liu Bei's authority and destabilize the company's internal hierarchy. The advisor's argument is that management is a psychological game of control. To him, treating the company like a family is a strategic error that invites chaos. Sustaining an organization under pressure requires navigating 3 specific psychological traps that look like common sense, but function like poison. The first trap involves the corporate worship of hustle. This drive for effort is often tested with a classic impossible logic puzzle: how to sell 1,000 hair combs to a monastery of bald monks. In corporate circles, an executive named Lu Bu is treated as a hero for this task. The story goes that he sold nearly 1,000 combs to monks in a single month, earning him a massive promotion. But the legend hides a cynical reality. Lu Bu didn't sell combs to monks. He realized that the bonus for hitting the target was higher than the cost of the inventory, so he turned the task into a pyramid scheme, forcing his own sales reps to buy the stock to keep their jobs. When executives offer massive financial incentives for impossible tasks, they don't get innovation. They get a workforce that optimizes for deceit. The absurdity is obvious when looking at the target demographic. These monks have no hair to comb, yet the leadership was so focused on the reported numbers that they ignored the physical impossibility of the success. Rewarding hustle without ethical constraints simply identifies the most effective scammer on the team, sacrificing long-term integrity for a short-term spreadsheet victory. Liu Bei's second move was the open survey, asking his employees a simple question: what is wrong with the company's leadership? His advisor, Chen Deng, argues that this is a tactical failure. An open survey provides a platform for insubordination and signals that the executive is a passive recipient of criticism. Chen Deng suggests a pivot to the closed survey, a tool designed to shift psychological pressure back onto the workforce. This survey uses questions that require self-justification, such as, are you sacrificing enough for the company's future? Or, do you recognize the weight of the responsibility management carries? The energy of the critique is redirected. While an open survey invites the employee to judge the boss, the closed format forces the employee to evaluate their own commitment and perceived shortcomings. As the workforce becomes occupied with their own self-reflection, the focus shifts away from the leadership's performance. The hierarchy is reinforced because the pressure to improve is now placed on the subordinates. A leader who functions as a punching bag for grievances will eventually lose control. Maintaining authority requires proactively engineering the power dynamics of the organization. Liu Bei's final instinct was to offer a top advisor a sudden cash bonus as a sincere gesture of gratitude for his help. His advisor, Mi Ju, warns against this using the rabbit and the carrot fable. He explains that spontaneous, arbitrary rewards destroy the very loyalty they are meant to foster. When you offer a carrot for routine work, you shift the employee's motivation from the internal to the transactional. They stop working for the company's purpose and start working only for the next bribe. Eventually, the baseline for effort rises. The employees demand more rewards for the same output and eventually refuse to move at all unless a carrot is actively dangled in front of them. This follows a law of diminishing returns. The first bowl of rice saves a life. The second is enough to sustain it, but the third bowl is poison. Financial rewards can solve immediate survival needs, but using them as a primary management tool actively kills team morale and long-term loyalty. If the standard tools of bonuses and feedback only create scams and laziness, how does a leader actually keep an organization together? Liu Bei found the answer in the wooden barrel theory. It moves the focus away from the individual and onto the structural integrity of the group. A company's capacity is not determined by its star performer, but by its shortest stave, its weakest link. Water will always leak out at the lowest point, regardless of how tall the other staves are. The executive is a cooper, a barrel maker. Their job isn't to be a friend or a provider, but to apply the tension of the metal bands, forcing the individual staves into total alignment. Leadership requires using psychological tools to bind a team together. It is about creating an environment where the organization is tight enough to hold water.